Hello fellow homeschoolers. In this episode of Apple Tree Homeschool Academy, we're learning how to make homemade potato soup. Stay tuned. To make potato soup, what you're going to need are several medium-sized potatoes. In my pot here, I've already peeled and rinsed in a separate bowl of water. Probably about 10 potatoes I think we cleaned, peeled, diced. And we already started to bring that to a boil. Okay, and my pot, I usually have it halfway full, but this is probably only about a fourth of the way or a third of the way full. Okay, you're going to need a spoon. You're going to need an onion, and I have a half of an onion diced. I'm going to start out with 2 sticks. Maybe I might start out with 1.5 sticks since we don't have as much soup today as I normally do, but half a pot would probably take about 2 sticks of butter. I'm going to probably use 2 cans of any kind of canned milk that you like. You can opt to do just straight milk if you like, but I'd pour off some of the water from your broth. You're going to need salt, pepper, and you can add some chives. Now, you can opt not to put the onions in, but it does make it more flavorful. So the salt, pepper, chives, and onion is where you're going to get your flavor from, and the butter. In my pot, I've already got red potatoes, and now I'm just going to add about a half of an onion. Okay, I've brought the potatoes and the onions to a boil, and at this point it's just on high. I'm adding 1.5 stick of butter. I'm also going to add salt. That's probably a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half. Now I'm going to add some chives, and that's probably 2 to 3 tablespoons of chives. And then I'm going to add pepper to taste. Okay, my potatoes I've given a good stir with a spoon, and I can tell that the potatoes are cooked. There's potatoes, onions, butter, salt, pepper, and chives in the pot at this point, and it's still on high. Next we're going to add our canned milk. I've shaken these cans per the directions on the label. Give the pot a stir. Now at this point you want to go ahead and turn the heat down on your pot, or else your milk will burn to the bottom of the pot. And at this point you're just melding all of the flavors together. Once that milk has a chance to get heated through the pot, you want to give this a taste. And at that point you can add more salt, more chives, more butter if it needs it, more pepper. But folks, that's it. That's all it takes. Now I have taken carrots and used the little tiny little shredding pieces from a grater. I put tiny little pieces of carrots in there as well, and that makes a good soup. So far this is all it is. Okay, the boiling has significantly gone down. I'm just scraping the bottom of the pot at this point carefully. You don't want to disturb your potatoes too much, or else they'll break up too much for you. Okay, and you can have a soup that is thinner broth like this, but a lot of times we like to eat it more like a chowder, So I'm going to make a thickener for that, and all it is a little bit of water. It's probably about 1/4 of a cup, and some flour, and you just mix that together. And that's you want this to be very thick, and that'll help keep down your lumps. Matter of fact, that's going to need more flour because that's going to be too lumpy. So off camera, I'm going to stir this a little better, add some more flour to it, and give this a good stir, get all those lumps out, and then we're going to slowly add it to our soup. I've added more flour and given this a good stir. To the consistency, it's almost like a thick pancake batter. And I'm going to add some more water to it at this point to start thinning it down now that all the lumps are out. You want your thickener to be thick in the beginning so that you can slowly work the lumps out. The thicker it is in the beginning, the better chances are you're going to get your lumps out, and then you start thinning it down. Added more milk to this. You can use milk or water to make your thickener. So I started with water and chose to finish it off thinning it down with milk. And I just gave it a good stir, and notice you don't have lumps in it. One little tiny one there, but you can't barely even tell that's there. See? I'm stirring, and there are not lumps coming up through there. So now what you're going to do is you're going to pour this into your pot slowly and carefully stir at the same time. Now I'm doing this one-handed, so normally I'd be stirring at the same time. Now it's not going to take all of my thickener, so I'm not going to use all that I made. Now you're going to give this a few minutes to cook and simmer just to get the flour taste cooked off and cooked into the soup. At this point it's really a chowder. Now if it gets too thick, just add some more milk to it. And I wouldn't open up another can, I would just pour some of my milk out of the fridge in it. Now we're going to give that another taste, see how it is, see if I need to add anything. But I wanted to show you what we serve with our potato soup to bring a protein in. We love making peanut butter sandwiches with it, with our potato soup, so that we have the protein, but we love cutting them in half and dipping them in our soup. They're really good. So anyway, that's all there is to it, and that makes a really cheap and frugal meal. So I hope you all get a chance to try this out, adjust it to your tastes, and this will be sure to be one of your family's favorites. This is the type of grater that I use to add some carrot to it if I like. And these are really tiny little grates here. And you could even use this side if you like. But if you want to hide some carrots into your food or into this particular recipe, use this side here. Probably 1 carrot for this entire pot of soup. And that's all you'll need. I went back and added in some more butter, the other half a stick, and some more salt, and some more chives. And I did add some of my milk out of the fridge, out of the gallon, to thin that down just a little bit, because with filming I added a little too much of my thickener. But that's okay, we can always fix and adjust when you're using your recipes. This is a recipe that I was brought up on. We had this all the time in the winter growing up in West Virginia. So that's going to make some good supper. Yum. Here's a little helpful hint for you. If you store your peanut butter in the refrigerator and it gets to the point where it's so cold that it won't spread, put it in a little dish and then put it in the microwave and it softens it right up for you. Now you can spread it.
Don't forget to rinse and subscribe button. Give it a thumbs up and yeah. Are you still recording?
Yep. Oh gosh, here we go. Oh gosh, okay.